Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a Hollywoke hot take. All things Hollywood, all things Hollywoke. So smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books. Links in the description. It's Wokeistan, a novel, Hollywoke, another novel, political satire, and of course the Pineys. Books 1 through 6, comedy horror in South Jersey. Book 7 dropping soon, I swear. And it's all available at Amazon.com. Kindle Unlimited is free. Now, oops, media freak when baseball's fans shout a misheard, I'll just say word. They misheard the shouting as a racial epithet. And apparently that wasn't the word. The word that they shouted was nightingale or nightingale, which I guess is the no, that wasn't the word. Turns out he was saying dinger, like you hit a dinger in baseball, and that's the name of the team mascot. And apparently they misinterpreted that and overreacted. Why would you not know that word in baseball? That is a very common word. That means to hit a ball out of the park, basically, or just hit some balls. But this is the oversensitive society we live in. And I was saying to my friend today, you have to act, you can't react. I've been saying this to some people online. Act, don't react. You see something happening, take a minute, process it before you say something, especially on the internet. Gotham Awards say acting categories will no longer be defined by gender. The Gotham Awards, is this an awards for Batman? No, it's the annual New York ceremony for independent film. Again, it's more virtue signaling. We need less of this. Less of the virtue signaling. Because again, once this trend, I tried to tell some of my friends in film, you shouldn't do this sort of virtue signaling in your project. And they said, why? I said, because it's a trend. And once the trend dies, it'll go the other way. And you'll be associated with the trend and you won't get any work. So, I don't know how many award shows have to die, but apparently you're trying to, if there's one good thing that could come out of all this wokeness, is all the award shows would die. Maybe they'd all die and coalesce into one big award show down the line when people gain their sanity back in the entertainment industry. Speaking of insanity, CNN helped raise $230K for mom facing eviction before issuing a major correction. She's not the mother. Okay. She was the mom of 3 young children who was nervous about being evicted. So the CNN set up a GoFundMe page, but she wasn't even the mother. Gee, if only there was some organization that checked out things and got the facts. CNN is such a dumpster fire, my God. This was news to me. I thought it was going to be a one-day thing, but I forgot, people who are millionaires can throw parties that last days long and just have people stay over. So they're on their 3rd day of this party for Obama. And look, I don't begrudge the man having a party and being rich. I begrudge him for things he did as president, but look, he got his payday, whatever. But what I do have a problem with is him relentlessly supporting the mask narrative and then not wearing a mask at his party and having hundreds of people. You can't have it both ways, Barack. Okay? Either just do your thing and say, and have no comment. I mean, that to me would be the most honest way you could react to this. Just have your party, have no comment whatsoever. Do nothing. Ignore the press and just do it. Let the press, the press are going to bend over backwards to justify this anyway. They are. Today, everybody's talking about how CNN said, oh, it's all right. They're very sophisticated and vaccinated. Oh, thank you, CNN, for the clarification. I'm glad you figured that out, but couldn't figure out the basic facts. Like, oh, this woman are these children's mother and lives here. So, but the interesting thing is, apparently, Chrissy Teigen got invited too, because she was sharing photos from the Obama party. But she's also in therapy twice a week. I guess she got the invite because isn't she John Legend's wife or girlfriend? Isn't that the deal? Like, this is another one. Like, she just doesn't get it. You're not going to rebuild your rep. Okay? The only thing to do at this point is to go away for like 2 or 3 years and then just come out with a project and pretend like the past never happened. And then you'd put out a statement like, oh, yeah, I went into therapy, I did it, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm back, and I'm a much better person now. That's like the only thing. It's what Michael Jackson would do, but he was so overexposed, with his fame. He'd go to Paris for like months at a time. HBO Max's Peacemaker series will feature commentary on society, says James Gunn. Yeah, I don't think John Cena can carry this. I just don't. But see, we're in a different world with HBO Max because we don't actually know the ratings of anything anymore. So if the studio decides, no, we're going to go another year on this, they can. And if you had asked me, I don't know, 10 years ago, would this be a great thing? I'd be, oh my God, that would be amazing. That would be incredible because you could finally have these TV shows that could start like Breaking Bad. They could start very slow and build up and build an audience. This is, I don't see this. I mean, I said the same thing with Suicide Squad. I guess if James Gunn directs every episode, maybe it could work. It would need somebody that talented. I mean, John Cena, I don't think he can carry a TV show. He certainly couldn't carry the Suicide Squad. He was a bit of a hindrance. He looks all right. And, yeah, I'm beginning to question my viewing of the Suicide Squad, but I do have HBO Max for free, so as long as it's free, I guess, I can watch stuff. Would I review? Maybe I'd review the first episode. It doesn't sound like something I'd want to watch. Peacemaker. I didn't even remember Peacemaker in the comics. I don't think he was ever a character. God, I guess he had his own series like once, way back in the day, but come on. New Orleans Jazz Festival canceled for second straight year of beer virus concerns. That's a shame. I might put this on YouTube, so I'm saying beer virus. That's a shame. That's a real shame. I don't think they should cancel it, but what are you going to do? Aquaman star Jason Momoa defends superhero movies as an art form in response to Martin Scorsese's genre criticism. There's something so odd about this headline. On the one hand, like, Jason Momoa defending art. Okay, I guess. I mean, I guess you have a reason to defend superhero movies since you're the star of one of them and are trying to make it work. I get it, but, Scorsese's comments were, God, wasn't that like 2 or 3 years ago at least? And he made those comments during the height of the Marvel movies. Now you're going to come. It's the wrong time to be doing that, but it's probably a something taken out of context that the reporter asked, whatever. But Momoa is, I mean, he's okay. I think he's a better actor probably than John Cena. But that being said, he's just, it feels to me like he's just in the pipeline. They're just putting him in stuff because he has a good look and there was a craze over him and whatever. And Aquaman was a hit, so good for him. I really have a problem with the sequel now, the whole thing about Amber Heard. But, this is the way it's headed. So I think, we have to unplug from a lot of these a lot of these movies and TV shows and not give them our money and support. And it may not be totally possible. They're making it harder and harder with these streaming services. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'll say that Scorsese's initial criticism was undermined by the fact that his career is kind of sliding. The Irishman was not so great, and so it's just more chatter in Hollywood, I'd say. Why the Suicide Squad stumbled at the box office? It's just not a movie people can relate to. Okay, it's a very niche audience for this. It's comic books, right? First off, it's comic books. That's already niche. And yes, I know, Marvel movies, blah, blah, blah. But then you add the fact that this is niche within the niche. I mean, the Suicide Squad as a concept is niche. And the movie was very entertaining, but again, I can't see a non-fan watching this and being gung-ho about it. They would just be like, all right, whatever. And I don't think, I didn't think it would be this good. I mean, maybe my expectation was so low, the fact that it was decent is making me give a better rating than it normally would. But, I think it mostly rested on the shoulders of James Gunn and his many, many celebrity appearances in this. GenCon announces mandatory mask, expects attendees to be vaccinated, which, there are a lot of people with comorbidities at GenCon. So, but, I wouldn't go to GenCon anymore. Nah. They got, in my view, they've been taken over by the woke, too. And, even when I was there when they first went corporate and they were already starting to have issues. Things get too big. Unfortunately, when things get so corporate and so big, at some level they'll run more efficiently, but at other levels you lose that sort of hominess. And I think GenCon has really lost that. There was a hominess to the last GenCon in Milwaukee. I could see it. And then when I went to the GenCon in Indianapolis, it wasn't bad, but you could see the distance, the disconnect, when you add the corporate element to it. Britney Spears rebuffed in efforts to speed up tossing her father off conservatorship. Singer may try again. I don't know why they're doing this to poor Britney. Seems extreme, but it also seems like there's probably so much money involved in this, right? And it's a shame. It's a shame that a family had to let money come between them and their relationship. I met, I don't think I should say who, but I met the father of a celebrity who talked about that kind of thing and how his child was kind of ruined by Hollywood to a certain extent, but he was a great guy, but, he had his issues. And it was a shame. It's a shame how people let that happen, but when they drive the truckload of money to your house, it changes people. Not all people, but a lot of people. Movie theater owners won't oppose requiring proof of vaccination. Well, I guess that's the end of movie theaters. I mean, what? Okay. I guess indoor venues and other public establishments in New York City. Oh, New York City. Well, in New York City. Los Angeles is considering the same rule. Yeah, it's just in New York, though. Good luck with that. I mean, I'm sure that won't cut into your revenues even more. I mean, New York, they already pay insane taxes, fees, permits. You're just killing the movies. You're just killing everything in New York City. But that's Bill de Blasio. Wants to turn it into a homeless encampment, I think. Here's an interesting headline. Bam Margera sues Paramount, Johnny Knoxville, Spike Jonze over Jackass Forever firing. I didn't realize he had been fired. Big news in the Jackass world right there. Hmm. He was fired last fall after allegedly testing positive for Adderall, violating the terms of the wellness agreement he signed with the film's producers. Yeah, it's a shame. He's having problems. You know, after Brian Dunn died, I think he really took it hard. I mean, they were close, and it was a shame. Brian Dunn, you know, he died as he lived. Uh, so that's a shame. Um, I don't think he's going to win. I mean, seems pretty cut and dry. And finally, Joe Rogan, and I'm reading the headline, YouTube, if I put this on YouTube. Joe Rogan, vaccine passports are one step closer to dictatorship. I would agree, Joe. I would agree, and I'm against them. Um, there are protests worldwide against vaccine passports, and I wonder, have you heard about them on the regular news? Have you heard about the protests in Paris, Italy, Germany, a few other European countries? I don't think you have. I don't think you have if you watch the regular news. So, yeah. How much more of this? Got to get to 2022, man. That's the only way this turns around. 2021, some of it might turn around, at least in New Jersey. Fingers crossed. I don't know, man. Things here are weird. Things here are very weird right now. But they're always weird in Hollywood. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. We'll see you in the next one.